I have so much to say about this. At the outset, I would like to say this is just my philosophical point of view, my broad generalization, because my videos are short. And yeah, that's what I want to say. So, you know, I never was a huge Kobe Bryant fan. I was more of a Shaq fan. I liked Shaq's personality. Kobe tended to be very aloof, and it's just not his personality, just wasn't something I gravitated towards. And since he has passed, I really want to curtail whatever I would have otherwise said about him. And so I prefer to swerve this into more of what I have to say about Kobe Bryant and Vanessa and her mom and Kobe Bryant's parents and his sisters and all the controversy that swirled around Kobe Bryant's money and how it was given to certain people or not given to certain people. And there are so many issues with this whole thing and the drama and the gossip that has swirled around them. There's so many issues that have gone on and actually I think takes place in a lot of families. But the issues have issues. Because to me, there's the issue of how much do you owe your parents? You weren't asked to be born. But once you're here, how much are they owed for their love and support? How much are they owed for getting you to where you got to, that you couldn't have gotten to without them? Or if you had to do it without them, the road would have been less paved and a lot more bumpy, like a dirt road, possibly. So everybody knows Kobe Bryant married Vanessa. And I remember not long after that, there was already gossip about how close her mother was to them as opposed to Kobe's parents. And again, I was never a huge fan of his, so this is the stuff I would hear in passing, and then I would pass judgment on what I heard. And from my point of view, it seemed like he was taking really good care of his wife's mother and maybe not the equal care of his family. And I said all of that to say this, that it has come out that Vanessa Bryant's mother made a video complaining about the fact that her daughter snatched her house back and snatched her car. Now, this is what is interesting to me. I'm shocked that the house never was in her mother's name. I'm shocked that the car was never in her name. Because if I ever come across a large sum of money where I'm being a Santa Claus and I'm giving family members cars and houses, which is something I could actually see myself doing if I had that kind of money, I would put the home and the houses in their name. It's yours. You got it now. Take care of it or do whatever you have to do. It's a gift. It's not something I'm going to hold over their head to snatch back when, they don't show up to my movie premiere or we get into it. No, it's given as a gift. It's not held as collateral or something over your head. So I thought it was strange that the house was not paid for completely and put in the mother's name. Now, if she has bad credit, that could have been a problem. I don't know. The car, why isn't the car in her name? So long story short, and this is stuff that anybody listening can also look up online, because the video is less about the nuance of everything that Vanessa's mom said and why she said it. But apparently Vanessa did not feel loved and supported after she suffered the loss of Kobe and Gigi. And a lot of times, this is with relationships, this is with friends and family members, when a crisis happens, you see exactly who is in your corner and who is not. People's true colors come out, because crisis is a very stressful time, and people who are on their best behavior normally crack under pressure. And so basically her mom, who I think could have possibly been jealous of Vanessa the whole time, because parents sometimes are jealous of their children. Sometimes they feel like, why is your life so much better than mine? Or they live vicariously through their children. And if she wasn't loving and supporting her daughter and her grandchildren through this great loss, then what has she really been feeling this whole time? And so it also brings to my mind how Kobe Bryant's family, this rift that's always been there. And I do remember coming across some information where they didn't like how much Kobe was doing for Vanessa's mother. And so Vanessa, to defend herself, said, look, I've been taking care of my mom for 20 years. I suffered this great loss, and she just wasn't there. She wasn't there for me, and I'm paraphrasing. She wasn't there for me. She made things harder. I just saw her in a different light. And so I thought it was time for her to get on up out of here. Can totally see that. We've all had that come to Jesus moment, where the biggest one I remember was Jody Buttafuoco's wife. I think her name was Mary Jo. She stood by Joey Buttafuoco for years, even after his side piece shot her in the face. She stood by Joey Buttafuoco, and she had a come to Jesus moment one day when she said, you really don't give a damn about me. And she filed for divorce, and that was that. But it's like, that's what it took. You know, for you had to finally realize this person doesn't really care about you to get rid of him. And so, you know, when you go through huge stressors and you suffer a loss, you reassess. And sometimes you see things very clearly because you have to. You've been faced with such adversity that it's like, well, hell, if I just lost my husband and my child, I'm definitely going to be able to see through my mom. So, you know, because of the type of clarity that type of loss brings you after you've gone through some type of a grieving process, you wake up one morning and you start looking around, or you actually hear what's being said to you. You actually can see what's being done. You can see a situation for what it really is. And to me, that's exactly what happened to Vanessa. And so she threw her mom out. I would have done the same thing. Good for her. And now her mom is, you know, on TV complaining about it. And Vanessa said she took care of her for 20 years. And when I heard that, I thought back to Kobe Bryant's family. And I'm like, these people have really suffered. And like I said, the issues have issues, because it's like, well, how much did Kobe owe them? And I remember coming across something where Kobe said, you know, I have given, it's not enough. No, it's never going to be enough for them if they've watched you for 20 years take care of Vanessa's mom. That would piss me off as well. And I always wondered, what was it that drove Kobe's mom to sell his things? But then again, it's like, it's his money. It's his to do what he wants to do with it. But then again, he had the love and nurturing from his father that brought him into being Kobe Bryant, just like Tiger Woods' dad. Every day, relentless, pouring himself into Tiger, making him Tiger Woods. And everything we know about him. All those Masters, golf tournaments that he's won. The same with Beyonce. Beyonce's dad is a hot ass mess. Side babies everywhere. But I believe he quit his job. He poured everything he had into Beyonce, making Beyonce who we now know and love as Beyonce. So it's just, like I said, issue upon issue. Where is the line drawn? Is there a line? How much do you owe your parents for having gotten you where they got you? But then How much should it have been more equal, what he gave to his parents and to her mother? Did Kobe look at it as, well, Vanessa's mom is single, she's older, maybe she's undocumented and can't get a job, maybe, that's why he took care of her, as opposed to his parents, which is a two-parent household, sisters. Maybe on his side there was just so much more money to give around, whereas Vanessa only had her mom. But like Vanessa said, and I said this twice already, 20 years of taking care of her mom. Now she sees her mom for who she really is, somebody who has not been in her corner through the greatest loss of her life. This infuriates you, because then you feel like you've been a fool for 20 years. And so, yeah, you're going to do something really rash, like throw your mom out or lessen her standard of living to a point where she has to know that she messed up. So if she went from driving a Mercedes or even a Rolls Royce and now she's in a Jetta and she's living in Koreatown in LA, then yeah, you're going to get the message, Mom, real quick. And for Vanessa, if you didn't encourage Kobe to do everything he could to make his family feel better about the situation, so they felt like they weren't left out, that everything that his parents did to get him to where he was appreciated, Vanessa, you better do it now. Because your mom was just a sign. That's the first thing you needed to fix, and you fixed that. But you need to circle back to Kobe Bryant's family, maybe cut them a check, maybe allow them to decide on a charity or scholarships or an HBCU that you can give to for them through Kobe, through his name. But you need to fix things with them, because your mom isn't the only thing that was broken. I think the way they were treated at the funeral was awful. And I don't know if the things that I heard were true, about Vanessa not letting them be there, or she buried him without them, or they just didn't play a large part. Without them, we would have no Kobe Bryant. They brought him into the world. They nurtured him into whoever he became. Parents really make a big difference. And they may fly off the rails after their job is done and you're who you needed to be, but that doesn't negate how you got there. And so I think his parents need to be shown some deference. And if he didn't do it while he was alive, then Vanessa definitely has the chance to fix it and make a change with that. Another thing I wasn't sure about was whether or not the two daughters that Vanessa has left have a strong relationship with their grandparents and their aunts. And I hope they do. I think she needs to take them around them in the summertime, drop them off and leave so they can get to know them better, because I can't imagine that they have spent a lot of time, because when you fall out with your nieces and your nephews' parents, you tend to not see them. When you fall out with your daughter or your son, you tend to not see your grandkids. It's just what happens. She needs to fix that if that's what's happening. But I think it's really interesting, come to find out the mama's been no good this whole time. And I would venture to guess, because she couldn't find it in her heart to support her daughter, there was probably some jealousy there. Because if they didn't put the house in her name, then she probably didn't feel like she had agency over the house or the car that wasn't in her name. So it's like you get the taste of luxury, but you don't have agency over it. You can't really spend the money. You have just enough. So it may have appeared to Kobe Bryant's parents that this woman has just been taken care of, had a free ride for 20 years, and really, she didn't have crap in her name. It was optics. It's like, can you imagine having a room in a mansion, but you can't spend mansion money? That could not have been easy for her. And sometimes I think you can go by the looks test, Vanessa doesn't look like she's a shrinking violet. Vanessa looks like she will drag you in the street somewhere. And this isn't going to end well for her mom, and her mom had better stop talking because Vanessa likes to file lawsuits. Dang it, I wish I had looked up her sign before I got on here. But look at her sign. I'm not going to take a guess at what she is, but she's probably nothing to be messed with. And I hope she circles back to Kobe's parents and tries to make that situation right if she already hasn't. Okay, I hope everybody has a good day. Please like and subscribe. Thanks, bye.